Hello there and welcome back to Meal Kit Reviews. It's been a little while, I know it has, but we've unfortunately had some really bad weather here. It's not really been great for coming out and filming. Last review that I'd done of the Sentinel watch, I did say that I had something a bit bigger to review next time, right, and sure enough here it is. Right, it's the CAMS 2. Right, now it's the biggest roller bag that 511 make. Right, I've got to be brutally honest with you, I went for this purely and simply because I have to have a lot of kit sitting there ready and waiting to pick up and move very quickly. Right, up until now I've been using several backpacks, right, which worked, but this, it keeps everything contained in one package. Right, and I've got to be honest with you, I'm denied a bit about buying it in the first place, but now I've got it, I wouldn't be without it. Right, it really is as good as you could possibly expect. Right, let's give you a quick rundown. Right, it's 40 inches in length, 15.5 inches wide, 15 inches tall, right from bottom to top obviously. Right, it holds 9,300 cubic inches for our American cousins, right, or 152 litres for everyone else. Right, it's made out of a 1600 denier ballistic nylon, right, much heavier than what we find in any of the 511 packs, right, and believe you me, this thing is as strong as it looks. Right, the actual baggage side of it, the compartments, the pouches, I mean, this is typical 511, right, they've got pockets and pouches everywhere. Right, let's have a quick rundown. Right, we've got compression straps, well, not so much compression straps, they're just straps that aid the actual stiffness, right, of the bag once it's packed. Right, on the top, I'll just tilt this slightly, you probably see it, you've got a couple of see-through panels, ideal for ID tags, itineraries, whatever you want to put in there. Right, I've got a note of all the features of this bag because believe me, there's so many of them. Right, very, very hard to try and remember them all. Right, as you'd expect, right, you've got YKK zippers all the way around, and most of these are lockable. Right, I've got a couple of these, well, they made by a company called PackSafe combination locks, and they fit nice and snugly through the loops. Right, I mean, all right, fair enough, I know if somebody really wanted to get in, they'd use a knife, right, we all know that, but it just stops fingers dipping into it, right, when it's left at stations or backs of vehicles. Right, but let's open this up. Right, we've got a three-sided zipper on the top main compartment. You notice that the actual compartment itself is lined in a light grey, right, which really helps. I mean, this is a deep bag, right, I'll just tip it up so you see it's a deep bag, right, and the lighter colour inside helps with identifying bits and pieces inside there. Right, you've got on both sides, you've got MOLLE compatible loops. They're 3 high and my goodness about 30 loops long. Now that's on both sides of this, right, which is very handy. Right, we've also got, which I'm not using at the moment, right, we've also got 2 Velcro attachable dividers that will fit wherever you want them inside. Right, so I'm not using those at present, but I have used them, I do use them, and they're great. Right, what else have we got in here? We've got some loops here which are attached. We've got 2 rods inside here which add to the stiffness, and they loop onto the sides, which is brilliant. Right, you've got a lining in here, right, which is like the soft side of Velcro, so you can actually attach that sort of backup belt system in there if you wish. Right, in general, it's just any sort of Velcro attachable pouches that you may have, right, that you want to go and keep things a bit more organised. Right, we just do that zip up at the top there, right, because this really is absolutely full of features. Along the front edge here, we've got 3 zip up pouches, again lined with light grey. Right, these pouches, I've got a tape measure in here because I can't remember. The pouches themselves are 12 inches by 8 inches, 7.5 inches deep, right, and about 1.5 inches deep there. Right, again, locking zips, all the zips, can't remember whether I said it or say it again in case I haven't, all the zips on this bag are YKK. I've got to say this, I've probably said it before, I don't honestly think that 511 use any other brand of zipper other than YKK. They are the best. I'm sure that we all know that, but I just need to say it again. You've got your 3 pouches along there. Right, we've got another, this is the non-locking pouch. It's just a flat one in there, right, which goes full length and about 8 inches in depth. Right, but that one doesn't lock. Right, let's just have a quick look on the front edge. Sorry about this, I've got to walk around this. Right, we've got a loop filled there, right, for a 511 patch, any of your patches, right, that you want. We've got another longer one there that'll serve a name tape quite well. This one is a right-on strip. I tend not to use those because I haven't, it's just me, I don't like marking things, right, but that's the way that goes. We've got another solid trunk in the bottom here. Right, again, this is YKK zippered all round, lockable. Right, excuse my back. Right, you've got these sink straps there, right, with quick release buckles. Right, I'll just unzip this because there is a reason for this. Just bear with me a second while I unzip it. Slide out to the side. Right, and there we have it. I'll just pop this open. Right, now this tray at the bottom, it is stiff. It's got a stiff top to it. This tray will take the 36-inch rifle bag that 511 manufacture. Right, I've got to be honest, if I'm using this for uniform purposes, in the bottom, iron shirts and trousers so they don't get crushed and screwed up in the main compartment. Right, but this will take a 36-inch gun bag. Right, you've got sink strap down straps. Right, you can actually unzip this so you can store things underneath it if you want. Right, and that will act as a compartment cover for you. Right, the only thing I will say, it's not a massive issue, it's just me. When you want to zip this back up, what you need to do is make sure it's just properly positioned. Right, and then the zips, as you can see, do up with no problem at all. Let's just do this end up. Sorry about this. Whistle while I work for me, please. Right, and then we can do these back up as well if we want. Right, I'll just put the padlock in my pocket. What else have we got with this? Handles. We've got handles everywhere. Bear with me. Put that up there. That. We've got pull-along handles on here. The great thing about these, they're self-retracting. They've got elastic underneath them. When you let go of them, they actually fold flat, which I rather like that. Right, everywhere that's likely to get knocked, dragged or scuffed is very well protected. We've got these corner covers here. They're like a very hard plastic. We've got one on each of the top corners. Right, on the ends here, this is the same the other end. We've got these tie down straps which also act as feet, right, when we're standing it up on end. Right, we've got another pull along handle here. One really good thing about this is when you're actually pulling it along, if you're pulling this through an airport or whatever, where you're pulling on those handles, they're positioned in the centre, so the bag pulls straight. There's none of this wheeling about all over the place, trying to keep over it, a bit like a deranged supermarket trolley, right, as we all find now and again. Right, again, just on this end, we've got the same configuration again. We've got handles, right, they're just handles everywhere, right, so if you can't carry it yourself, you can get somebody to help you. Again, more tie down and feet on this end. Right, we've got a centre handle here, right, with a Velcro cover, right, which is really good. That's very comfortable, I can guarantee you that. I'll just do this up. What we're going to do is we'll spin this round. Right, on the other side of this, we've got, let me grab my tape measure because again I can't remember. Right, we've got 2 more zip-up pouches. This time, this also has lock-in zippers on these as well, right, which is very handy. Right, these are 18 inches by 7.5. So we've got 2 of those. Business card holder over on this side, right, which is quite handy for IDing. Can't remember which end is in there. Right, I like the plastic that they use on these. It's not the hard, brittle stuff that cracks and snaps when it gets cold. This stuff stays flexible all the time. I actually had this out in the colder part of this year, right, and it was... I left it outside as an experiment. It was out there for about 3 or 4 hours. And it was about -2, and this stuff stayed flexible through all of that. Right, so whatever it is, it's good. Right, let's turn it up on its side, because this is a bit that I must admit I was more interested in, because with the best will in the world, we can give anything a real beating, but when it comes down to it, right, it's the bottom end that really takes the punishment. Right, we've got these end protectors here and the rails that run full length on this, and they're actually riveted right through to the bottom of the bag. Right, these rails, I mean, they're great. Right, they slip and slide. Right, they're brilliant. Right, but the most important bit for all of us are the wheels. They're oversized, they're heavy duty, they've got like a rubber tyre on them, which is something I've never seen before. I've come across pull-along bags before that have solid plastic wheels, right, but these really are quite something else. In fact, I might put them on my Land Rover, right, but they're held with an actual screw and bolt, which is brilliant. So if they do happen to get loose, you can always tighten them up. Right, I mean, I think we've all had one of those put-along bags, right, with a wonky wheel on it after not a lot of use. You're not going to get that with these at all. Everything about this is super strong. It is built like a tank. Right, having said that, it's not that heavy. I haven't weighed it. If the weight of this empty is important to you, let me know. If it's not on 511's website, I will have a look for you. Right, I'll weigh it myself, right, and publish it on the review page. Right, anything anybody wants to know about this bag, please drop me a line. There is so much to this. I could run a video on this that'll last an hour. Not going to, because it'll bore you to tears. Right, I think we've covered just about the most important things. Right, what I will do in a second, I'm just going to move this out of the way, just so you can see the way that this sits. Right, when it's upright, because it really does sit very, very well. Right, let me just move it and you'll see. Just want to whistle for a second. Right, there it is, when it's upright. Now that really does, that'll sit there all day long. That really is solid. Obviously this is empty, so if you was going to put this here with weight in it, it makes it even more stable. Right, it's brilliant. It pulls nicely. Right, everything about it, I love it to death. I really do. Right, I say it was a bit of an and an ah before I went for it, but at the end of the day, right, I did go for it, and I'm very pleased that I did. One other bit that I do want to add to this, but anybody out there, especially my wife, if she was going to use this as a handbag, she'd probably need 2. Right, what you do get with this is you get this strap, and the idea is that you pass the strap through here, and if you have another one of these, you then pass this through that handle. Right, alternatively, right, you could add other pull-along cases to this, and you can daisy chain them. Right, so you just pull one and the others follow along puppy dog style. If you actually want to see that in action, if you go to 511's website and have a look at the 511 video for the CAMS 2, right, you will see that they've actually linked 2 or 3 of these together, right, and you will see just how that pulls along. Right, not a lot more I can add to this. Right, it really is as good as it looks. If you've got a need for it, right, brilliant. I'm going to have to keep this under lock and key. My son has threatened to take this as his baggage, right, when he travels to the States later this year. Well, that all depends whether I've got it first. Right, but we'll just have to wait and see on that score. Right, but if anybody's got any questions, please drop me a line. I really don't mind answering them. Right, those of you that have received answers so far seem quite happy with them. If there's anything outstanding, I'm sorry, please drop me a line and give me a kick. Right, I don't think there is. Right, if you're new to Meal Kit Reviews, please subscribe. Right, there's other reviews coming up in the future. Right, as and when new kit, right, is put into use, right, then once it's been used for a while, right, if you're not used to my reviews, this is not just a case of take it out of the box and review it. Right, everything you see on my channel has been used and abused, right, and then the review's made, right. So there you go. Right, what you're getting is a true and honest evaluation of the actual equipment that you're seeing that's been filmed. Right, so I say, if you're new to Meal Kit Reviews, please subscribe. Right, any questions, fire away. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.